Recording's in progress. Here we go. All right, so we're talking about easy system to get great at objection handling. That's what we're going to work on today. So I've got some notes. I've got some things to go through, and we'll try to make this as easy and painless as possible. However, if you've ever seen me do a class on objection handling, you know I always start the same way. Okay, so I start every class on objection handling the same exact way, just because I need everyone to know how important one particular item is in our system. When it comes to handling objections, the easiest and best way to handle objections is to not get them. Okay, that's the easiest and best way to handle objections. Okay, Robert, that's very, how long did it take you to think of that golden nugget? I bring that up because there's a direct correlation to the quality of your presentation and the number of objections you get. So we are going to talk about handling objections today, but what I would always tell people is before you work on handling objections, work on your presentation first. Okay, because that is what's going to lead to more or less objections. So you could say, I know 40 different ways of handling 40 different objections, which my first response would be, why are you getting 40 different objections? Okay, that's my first response. My second response is you should probably spend more time working on your presentation, both buyer and seller, because objections can be from buyers or sellers. So how good is your listing presentation? How good is your buyer consultation? Okay. And the presentation, when does the presentation technically start? When do we say the presentation starts?
The first moment that you get in contact with them.
Moment you get in contact, right? At the very minimum, the moment you set the appointment, okay, is when the presentation starts. How's your follow-up? How's your phone skills? How's your pre-qualifying? What's your pre-listing package look like? How are you presenting yourself when you're getting to the door? Okay, all these different things are part of that presentation. So we're going to talk about objection handling because sometimes no matter what, you're going to get objections. But I always start any topic or class on objection handling is reminding that we need to work on the presentation first because there's a direct correlation to that. Make sense? Makes sense. Good. All right. As long as I have my own approval, that's really all that matters. It's kind of like being married, right? Yeah, as long as I have my own approval. Yay. All right, here we go. All right, so let's talk about objection handling. So we're going to cover a couple different things here today. Okay, a couple different things. So there's first of all, a very basic, easy way of handling objections. So we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to go into the 3 different types of questions in regards to objection handling. So let's start with the fast, easy strategy to overcome any objection, okay? And there's 4 steps. 4 steps. Step 1, repeat. Step 1 is repeat. They give you an objection, you repeat it. Step 2 is to agree/approve. Agree or approve, however you want to word it. So step 1 is repeat. Step 2 is agree or approve, however you want to word it. Step 3, ask 2 questions. And step 4 is close. Okay, simple method to handling objections. Repeat, agree, ask 2 questions, close. So let me give you an example. Client says, we want you to cut your commission. Oh, you want me to cut my commission? I can understand you wanting that, right? Repeat, agree. Oh, you want me to cut my commission? Certainly that makes sense. Okay. It's not repeat, argue. I'm just wrong for repeat, be disgusted. Repeat, be annoyed. You want me to cut my commission? Cut my commission? Don't you know who I am? I've been selling homes in this neighborhood for 45 years. Well, that would be great if I was selling a home 45 years ago. But today, see, I get so excited about talking about objections because most objections are so laughable at times, right? And really objection handling is just making sense. If an objection, you can't make an objection handler into common sense, it's a bad objection handler. So let me give you an example, right? Well, we're interested in selling, but I go to the office every single day, 5 days a week, and we're going to be moving to Arizona. So I obviously can't go to the office where I'm living in Arizona. And, so we're just going to wait because I'm retiring at the end of the year. And you go, ooh, that might be an objection. Well, gosh, if we could somehow get your home sold in the next 3 months, it's like that makes no common sense. So therefore, it's a terrible objection handler. Okay. So if you can't make common sense with an objection, then it's a terrible objection handler. So let's go back to focus on this. Repeat, agree, ask 2 questions, close. So now that the 2 questions are questions that are leading them to making a decision to list with you, not 2 questions leading to them asking more and more questions. Okay. So, and now here's the other thing about the asking 2 questions. You're not necessarily handling the objection. So let me give you an example, right? Repeat, agree, ask 2 questions, close. We want you to cut your commission. You want me to cut my commission? Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, let me ask you this. Would you like the selling process to be easy and effortless? Yes. And you do want to net the most amount of money possible, right? Yes. Great. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time that you want. Won't that be great? So I didn't necessarily handle the commission objection. I just asked 2 questions that would help them make a decision on hiring me. So show of hands or in the chat box, who here has ever given a salesperson, insurance, cars, maybe even a real estate agent, an objection, and it was not necessarily overcome, but they showed enough value in another way that you totally forgot about the objection? Okay. Everybody raise your hand, okay? Because if not, you're lying. Nope, Robert, I go to every single car dealership and I give them all the objections. And if they don't come in exactly the way it is, I'm not paying any money for it. It's amazing how calm you can be while your pants are on fire. Liar, liar. Okay. It happens to all of us. And it's the same thing that what we do in real estate. Okay. So just simply ask 2 questions, close. So let me share this document with you to give you some examples. Okay. But you could go and do this forever and ever. All right. Now I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I just shared the document. Peter Pruvasco goes. So here's some examples that Ron Cronin has shared over the years, right? If I could get your home sold in the next 30 days, would that cause you a problem? When would you like to have your first offer? Would you like the selling process to be easy and effortless? You do want to net the most amount of money. You do want a proactive agent. Would you rather have a real estate agent? It's like a pit bull or a poodle. What is more important to you, results or excuses, right? These are questions you could ask to bypass the objection. Okay. Because the objection is not commission. The objection is that they just haven't quite seen enough value from you yet. Okay. Because we all pay for stuff that we could get cheaper elsewhere, right? Give me an example of something in your life that you pay extra for that you could get cheaper somewhere else. Oh, we have a bunch of 99-cent
Bills.
store shoppers, apparently.
Nails.
Nails.
Manicure.
Yeah, right. You go get a manicure. This one charges this amount of money. There's always one cheaper, but you go to the one, you go pay for a little bit more for the one you like, the service. What else?
Food.
Cars.
Phones.
Phones. Yeah, certainly phones. You know,
Food.
unless you're
Cars.
my dad still has a flip phone. You know,
Haircut.
and he's still not sure how to use that one. So, but yes, everybody else, we pay extra for phones. Sure. Did somebody somebody said what? I think someone said cars, maybe. Did I hear cars?
I said haircuts. Cars, yeah.
Haircuts. Yeah. Haircuts. Yeah. I mean, you know, you could go to the barber college and get it for $5 and see how it goes, or you could go get a salon cut. Cars, certainly, that's an easy one, right? You
Sushi.
could, you know, you could get a, you know, you could go get a Honda, get you from point A to point B, or you could go get an Audi or a, what's the one that Tim has? Alfa Romero? Is that the car? Is that a thing? That's the car, right? Yeah. See, I pay attention. I see. I notice things. Yeah. Car. What else?
Food. Sushi.
Food.
Yeah.
Food. I could go get a steak at Mastro's. It's going to cost me $75 just for the steak, or I could go to Denny's, technically, get steak and eggs for like $12. So it's not the money. It's there's some sort of value. So you could handle the commission objection, right? Or you could try to bring some other value. Okay. So they say, you know, we want you to cut your commission. Okay, it's not the money, because we know people will pay premiums for services that they feel are worth it. So, because I'm not going to go to Mastro's and say, hey, you know, the $75 bone-in ribeye that everyone else is paying $75 for? Think I could get it for 50? You cheap son of a bitch, get out of our restaurant. No, right? They would give you the ultimate Mike Ferry answer. No. Any other questions? Right? It's not going to happen. You know, hey, Audi, I've got this newspaper article that says I can get a Honda for $35,000. Can you match it? Get the hell out of our office. Right? Because they know people will pay for value. They'll pay. So sometimes we just have to show that extra value. So we want you to cut your commissions. Okay, I understand. You want me to cut my commission. That makes sense. Essentially, because you're making them their buddy, right? Because you don't want to argue. Because when you argue with someone, you're making them feel wrong. And when they're wrong, are you increasing or decreasing your chances of getting the deal?
Decreasing.
Decreasing, right? We want you to cut your commission. Oh, you know, no, I mean, why would you ask me that stupid question? You know, most of my clients wouldn't do something like that. And you're shaking your head, and you got the squinty eyes, you're making them feel wrong. So you're trying to get them on your side. You want me to cut my commission? No problem. Good for you. Good question, buddy, old pal. I can understand why you think that way, right? You're on your side. Like, all right, he agrees, he approves, he understands what I'm talking about. And then you hit him with the two questions. But let me ask you this. You do want a proactive agent on your side, right? Oh, yeah, definitely want a proactive agent. Got it. And what is more important to you, results or excuses? I want results. Well, great. Do you think my plan of action is going to get you the most results? I do. Great. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract and have to get what you want the time that you want, right? I've got them on my side. I'm asking them powerful questions that are leading them to helping them make a decision. And then I close. And then I could just keep doing this over and over again. Well, Robert, but hold on. Before we sign, we're a little bit concerned about the price. Oh, you're concerned about the price? Gosh, you know what? That's a really great point that you bring up the price. Absolutely. Let me ask you this. When would you like your first offer? Well, we want it in next week. Next week, fantastic. And if I got your home sold in the next 30 days, does that cause you a problem? No, that's what we want. Great. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract. Like, I'll be what you want, turn one. Well, but we also do have a friend in the business. Oh, you have a friend in the business. Most people do. Good for you for having a friend with a real estate license. Hey, let me ask you something. Do you want to net the most amount of money on this house? Sure do. Would you like the selling process to be easy and effortless? Absolutely. Great. Then all we need to do now is simply sign. Okay. Like they could just keep throwing things at me. And I just keep repeating, approving. Gosh, I'm so glad that you asked the 18th objection in the last 30 minutes. This is so much fun, buddy, old pal. Repeat, approve. Oh, you don't see my signs in the yard? Oh, good for you. That's right. You probably haven't. Okay. If I buy with you, will you cut your commission? If you buy with me, will you cut my commission on the listing? God, that's such a great question to ask. And then just repeat, approve, ask the question close, repeat, approve, ask the question close. Okay. Questions on this portion. Okay. Now, here's the key to this, because this is really simple. There's a couple key points of this. One, you have to have a ton of confidence to do this. Okay. You have to have a ton of confidence to do this, which should be pretty simple because you have the blueprint right in front of you. Because they're giving you an objection, and instead of handling the objection straight on, you're kind of taking you're like a boxer, right? They're throwing jabs and you're just kind of, nope, that one's going by me. Nope, that one's going by me, right? You don't want to be a bad boxer, right? And just keep taking jabs, okay? Because that only works in movies like Rocky, okay? Because in real life, he would just get his ass beat all the time. Okay, right? So you got to be able to dodge it. But you can't do that if you're not confident. Well, we want you to cut your commission. Okay, you want me to cut my commission? And yeah, I mean, that's, a lot of people, feel that way. And it's like, man, you can't do that. So you have to have a lot of confidence. Number two, okay, you have to be extremely positive. This technique only works with positivity. This technique does not work with a more negative, direct approach. This is a positive, excitement, smiling approach to objection handling, right? Because you're repeating, approving, again, buddy, old pal, you're on my side. And then I'm asking two questions. And even when you're asking the two questions, you're not coming at it from a negative way, right? It's not, well, if I could get your home sold in the next 30 days, would that be a problem? It's like, that's not what I'm doing. It's great. Now, if I could get your home sold in the next 30 days, would that cause you a problem? No. Right. When would you like your first offer? In a week? Fantastic. Like, this is a positive approach. So for some of you, let's see how many people leave after this comment. For some of you, positivity does not show on your face very often. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that to tell you you need to work on that. Otherwise, this particular way of handling objections is not going to work well for you. Okay, so you need to smile. You need to be excited. You need to be energetic. Now, here's the thing. When I say smile and be energetic or things like that, I'm not telling you have to be Robert. I'm not telling that you have to be Randy, right? Because some of you would try to do that and then you would just freak people out because it's just not your natural state. I want to be energetic like Robert, and then you would just have like these like really big eyes and like weird like Joker smile, be like, so who would you like your first offer? Like, oh my God, stop. Okay, stop. But be energetic, be excited in your own way. Okay, but you got to smile. Okay, that's part of this. It's the only way this way of objection handling works. Okay, so who would like to give this car a test drive?
Let's do it.
All right, Juan Carlos. All right, buddy. So don't need to rush it. We're just in the practice realm here. You can either use the questions that are on the screen or come up with your own, whatever you want. So, hey, look, man, I appreciate everything, but we really want you to cut your commission.
I see, Robert. I totally understand. And let me ask you, how soon would you like to get an offer on the next 30 days? Would that cause a problem for you?
No, I would love to get it closed in the next 30 days.
Great. So let's work on getting the first offer. How about if we can list the property now?
Okay, so you got me with one question.
Yeah.
You got me with one.
Well,
Okay,
when would
so
you like
if
to
I
have
could get your home sold in the next 30 days, would that cause you a problem? Nope. So ask me another one.
When would you like to have the first offer?
I would love to have an offer, gosh, in the next couple of weeks if possible.
And the next couple of weeks, excellent, man. So all we need to do is just sign the contract so I can help you get what you want at the time you want. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great.
Sounds great. Sign the
There
contract.
we go, baby. There we go. All right. Good job. Good job. All right. Who else wants to play?
I want to
Oh,
try.
but
All right, Iris. Iris, your price is I'm a little concerned about the price, Iris. I just think it's a little too low.
Little too low. I appreciate that, Robert. But you do want to net the most money possible, right?
Yes, I do.
Great. And also, Robert, you do want to have a proactive agent to help you net the most money possible, correct?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. So all we need to do now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great?
That would be great.
Excellent. Sign the contract, please.
There we go. Good job. Come on. Who
I'll go.
else was Amanda? All right, Amanda. You know what? Gosh, you know what? We have a friend in the business and we're thinking about interviewing them as well.
Okay, well, that's great, Robert. I'm glad to hear you have a friend in the business. You do want a proactive agent on your side, right?
I do.
And would you rather have a real estate agent who's like a pit bull or a poodle?
Oh no, I want a pit bull.
Okay, well, that's just me. So I think the best thing for us to do would be for you to sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great?
That would be great.
Please sign the contract, Robert.
Woo! There we go. Good job. Come on. Who else wants to try?
Me.
All right. Ada. It's
Good
Ada or
afternoon.
Ida?
Both. Ada or Ida.
I
English
want
or
to say it
Spanish?
correctly. What do you prefer?
We're speaking English, so Ada's fine.
Okay. Well, I can speak Espanol.
Español un poquito.
All right, Ada. So, you know what? I don't know. We're thinking we might just sell it ourselves.
I can definitely appreciate that you'd want to sell it yourselves. Lots of people definitely try and kick the tires and do that. So let me ask you a question, Robert. Would you like the selling process to be easy and effortless?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Now, would you rather have a real estate agent who's like a pit bull or a poodle?
Oh no, we want a pit bull.
Wonderful. So all we need to do now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great?
That would be great. Woo! I love it. Come on. Let's do one more.
Bring it.
I'll go next.
Tim. Tim, you know what? I think we're just going to relist with the same agent.
I see. So you want to relist with the same agent. Now, Robert, if I can get your home sold in the next 30 days, would that cause a problem for you?
No, that would be ideal.
Okay, and you do want to net the most amount of money possible. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, then all we need to do is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Well, that'd be great.
That would be great.
I can't believe it's that easy.
It can be.
It can be.
It can be.
It really can.
It
Robert,
can be. And
question.
that's the thing. Sometimes when it comes to objection handling, here's the thing. We always have to have 3 or 4 ways of going about everything. Okay. So is this foolproof? No, of course not. Okay. Are you going to deal with some people that be like, well, you didn't really answer my question? Yeah, of course you are. And that's why you have to have a couple different ways. But sometimes this is really what it will come down to. I mean, it happens. That's why I brought up the example earlier. You know, if you've gone to a car dealership, you've gone to an insurance agent, you've gone to solar, you've gone whatever. And it's like you ask questions and they just come at it from a different angle. You know what I mean? Because they know that you're there. You're there. They're there. You go to a car dealership, right? Let's take a car dealership, for example. The people who cut things the most, right? We'll cut it down to our bare minimum and all these other different things. Car dealer is well aware that you're there to buy a car. And as a consumer, you know that they're there to try to make the best deal possible. They're trying to make the best deal possible for you to get in that car, but them to also turn a profit. Everyone's aware of what's going on. Okay. So when you're in a situation like that, sometimes you just need that extra assurance. You just need that extra value. So you might throw a question out there. You might pause. Well, you know, can we get that warranty package? Do you think we can get the sunroof on this one and keep the same price? Like you're just kind of throwing stuff out there to get that extra value. What's this extra warranty? Okay. And they just go, well, here's what that is. And sometimes they'll lower the price. Sometimes they'll just say, hey, look it. You know, the extra warranty is this. But here's the thing, you know, that car from a protection standpoint is rated XXX next from this, and this. It's like they go past the warranty. They go back to the rating. They know you have a child. They know whatever, right? And that's why you're buying the car. And then you go, well, yeah, we do need that safety. right? We do need that safety feature, you know, or we do need that 4-wheel drive. I mean, car dealerships do that all the time, right? So it's the same thing in real estate. Sometimes it can be that easy. Sometimes people just need that extra assurance that, okay, feel good. They answered a couple additional questions, so and so forth. So I would start with this. Make this as easy as possible. And then if they come at you and say, well, gosh, Robert, that's great. Yes, I do want it easy and effortless, and I do want to net the most amount of money, but I still think the price is too low. Okay, let's go back to then other core objection handling. But sometimes it can be this simple and this easy. People want assurance. They want comfort, okay, in what they're doing. So, it can legitimately just be this type of thing. So practice this. But again, this only works if you're really confident and you're coming at it from a positive way. Otherwise, this will have no chance of working. It just won't. Then they're definitely going to ask about, well, you still didn't answer my questions. Or they might just say, okay, great, we'll think about it. And just like, they answered our question so poorly. But if you can come with confidence and positivity, you can just do this constantly over and over and over and over again. Okay, so it makes the objection handling process really simple. So practice this. But again, you got to have 3 or 4 different ways of handling everything. The beauty of this one too is it kind of works with every personality style. Okay, because if you're working with a driver, we want you to cut your commission. Right, you want me to cut my commission? Hey, that makes sense. Hey, you want to net the most amount of money, right? Yes. When will you want your first offer? Next week. Boom. Got it. Okay. Analytical, you're repeating, you're approving, you're asking 2 questions. I mean, this is like an analytical stream. Okay. Amiable, you're making them feel comforted. Oh, you want me to cut my commission? Gosh, there's a lot of people that feel that way. They're like, oh, good. Right. Now, here's the thing. You do want a proactive agent. Oh, yes, we definitely want a proactive agent. And you certainly want this to be easy and effortless, right? Because then you can kind of figure out what's the right questions to ask certain personality styles, like an amiable, easy, and effortless is really nice. Okay. And then expressives, you could say whatever you want as long as you're energetic. You could talk about, dog food for 30 minutes and sign a contract as long as you're excited about it. so sometimes there's just keys to certain personality styles, and some of you are expressive going, that's mean, I'm expressive, come on, take out your expressive card, and we meet every Tuesday. It's like AA meetings. All right, it's all good. All right, so work on this particular thing. I posted that in the chat box. Okay, now the next thing I wanted to work on here, 3 different types of questions. So different forms of asking questions when it comes to objection handling and selling. So we have open, and I'll share this form too. Open-ended, who, what, when, how. Okay, that means I want them to explain something. Let me get this document in the chat box so you have it as well. Okay, we'll go through this and then we'll go back and practice maybe a little bit more if we have some time. Yes or no is better for closing because I don't want them to explain. Okay, A or B, and how you start the question controls the answer. Okay, so again, going back to the objection handling, when am I asking open-ended questions? When am I asking yes or no questions, A or B questions, things like that? So like if you go to a lot of these questions here, these are questions that are leading to a result, leading to a close. So almost all of them are 1-word answers. Okay. If I could get your home sold in the next 30 days, so that caused you a problem. That's a yes or no question. Yes. When would you like the first offer? Next week, right? It's essentially a 1-word or quick answer. Would you like the selling process to be easy and effortless? Yes. You do want to net the most amount of money, right? Yes. You want a proactive agent on your side, right? Yes. What is important to you? Results or excuses? Results. Like 1-word answers. That's when I'm trying to lead them to a close. At this point, when they give me an objection, I'm not really trying to have them explain something. I'm trying to get to a close. So I want to ask questions that are leading to a close, which are yes or no, A or B type questions. Okay. So that's where we get to this point. Open-ended is when I do want them to explain something. Okay. It's when I do want them to explain something. So what could be a question that a client could, what could a statement that a client could say that would lead me to ask them an open-ended question, an objection, or a concern that a client might say that I would maybe want to ask an open-ended question to get some further explanation?
We want to relist with the same agent.
Sure, I want to relist with the same agent. Now I could want to get some more information on that, right? And that's what the script has. What is that agent going to do different in the next 90 days that they did in the last 90 days to get your home sold? Yeah. So I could want to get some more information on that. What else? What are some other questions that a buyer or seller, or statements a buyer or seller could make that would make me want to do an open-ended question? So how about a buyer that says, well, we want to wait because we think the market's going to crash? That could make me want to get some more information. Okay, what makes you think that's going to happen? Right? That's really not a yes or no question. Okay, I need to get more information on that. A seller says, well, we think it'll be better to list during the summer. Okay, I can't really ask a yes or no question there. I need to get some more information. Why? Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. Why do you want to list during the summer? Why do you want to list during the winter? What is important about the interest rates? We want to see what happens with the election. Okay, well, tell me a little bit more about that. Well, depending on who wins, we might leave. I'm like, oh, really? How many elections have you said that about? Would be my first question. And if you're in the state of California, and anyone that says that, it's probably as many as they've been alive. Okay. Depending on who wins, we're going to leave. How long have you owned your home? 20 years. Okay. Well, there's been 4 presidents and 2 different parties. So. Okay. All right. I'm not quite sure how the president is impacting in your place. Yes, Alice, what's your question?
How would you handle the objection that I want to wait 6 months? I mean, it's empty right now. I want to wait 6 months to remodel my home before I sell it, so I get top dollar. I'm gonna have it sit around because I don't have enough money to remodel yet.
Okay, so you want to remodel the house before you sell it because you think if you remodel, you're going to get more money, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, that's certainly possible. However, it's also possible that you might not get the full return on what you put into the house. So before you do any remodeling, why don't you let me come by, take a look at the house, let's see what kind of work needs to be done, and then you and I could talk about what it would sell for as is, and then you can get some quotes from some contractors to see how much it would cost them to remodel it. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. And I kind of have shown you the pictures already, and you believe it should go around, say, 1.15 or 1.2, but I really just want to net 1.3 after all the commission is paid.
Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I appreciate you sending me the photos. Don't take this the wrong way, though. Sometimes photos can be a little misleading or may not tell the whole story. So it's only going to take me a few minutes. Just let me come by, take a look at the property, and kind of get a better feel for it on what some of the remodeling might need to be done. And then go get a quote from a couple different contractors. I'm happy to recommend one to you. And then we can kind of compare and see what it's going to come out to be. Because here's the thing, they might fix up the house really, really nice, but it might cost you $200,000 and it might only net you an extra $100,000, which is not what you want, right?
Right. But I
Right.
actually got for $70,000 already. And I know that if I let it sit around for 6 months, it's going to cost me about, anywhere between 12 to 20,000 of holding costs. So that's about, 80, 90. I mean, what do you suggest I do?
Well, I would suggest you let me come see the property, because if you list with me, we're not going to have it on the market for 6 months. That much I promise you, because it's either that or I'll quit.
Are you saying you can sell it as is?
I can, but let's meet so I can figure out how much price it would be for selling it as is, and then we can kind of compare that versus the what the contractor says. Sound good? How about today or tomorrow at 4 o'clock?
Sure. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock is good.
Great, sounds good. I'll see you there at 4.
Okay. Thank you. See you.
If I don't see the property in person, I can't give you a fair idea on how much I could sell the home for,
Mhm.
especially if you're trying to remodel it. Like if it's a track home and it's like, hey, it was bought 15 years ago and there's really nothing wrong with it. It's like, okay, well, you know, I may be able to give you a fair price without seeing it. But if you're saying, gosh, this house needs work, it's like, okay, well, kind of need to see it to see how much work we're talking about here.
Yeah,
Right.
Robert,
Condition work. Yep.
Robert, can I ask you, how would you do it with this one? I just talked to one of my clients to lower the price this morning. And instead of lower the price, he said, no, Juan Carlos, I don't want to do that this moment, but I'm willing to pay $15,000 of closing costs, which is the same thing, you know, to buy down the interest rate or give closing
Right.
costs to the buyer.
Sign here.
Yeah, no, I already got it. But what would you think will hit better? It will be more attractive to the buyers. You know, to
Price.
lower the
Price.
I
Price.
that's exactly what I told them. Yeah.
Price.
So,
Because you're making comments that you're gonna pay $15,000 in closing costs, and you're assuming that every real estate agent reads the private remarks.
correct. And I mentioned, and he wanted me to do it in the public remarks, and I said, no, I cannot do it. There's it's controlled,
No.
and it's not gonna be possible.
No, so
No.
you have to do more work to try to get to get the agents to know that you're willing to pay $15,000 in costs. So I mean, it helps, but you're assuming that every agent's going to read the right remarks and that you're gonna market it and they're gonna read all the right things. But you have to understand, most buyers, not this group. This group is different. Everybody outside of this group
Don't read it.
are not finding properties for buyers and then saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I found this property that fits exactly what you're looking for. Plus they're offering $15,000 and all this other stuff. That's not what they're doing. What most people do is the buyer goes online, looks for property, sends it to the agent and says, I want to go see this property. That's what happens. So therefore, the buyer's looking at the price. They don't know about the $15,000 in closing costs. So the buyer's going, well, this home's listed for $650,000. No, we don't want to do that. That's out of we're only pre-approved for 630, whatever. So they're only looking at the price, and the agents aren't doing anything. They're not searching for homes with a $15,000 credit. Again, not this group. You all search for homes for your buyers. You read all the notes. You send it to your buyers correctly. That's why I love you all so much. Fortunately, it's a small percentage of you. So giving the credit to the buyers is great, but it doesn't make a big of an impact because the buyers don't see that. And they're the ones who are driving the agents to go show them certain homes.
And thank you, Robert. That's a great point, and I'm gonna bring it over to him. But yeah, we were having that discussion, and I didn't want to make him feel wrong, you know, because he was like set on his thing. Like, no, I want you to do this, Juan Carlos. So I was going like, okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens.
I mean, at least it's something. So I'll give him credit for doing something, but yeah, it's not as powerful as lowering the price.
Lower the price, yeah.
All right, good stuff. Okay, so going back to these good questions. So different forms of questions. So here's some examples. So they say, I really want to, so instead of saying, I really want to list your home, right? That's kind of the mentality. It's, how would having an eager, enthusiastic agent on your team impact your bottom line? That would be an open-ended question to get them to talk a little bit more. Versus a yes or no question would be, could you use an enthusiastic agent on your team? Versus an A or B question, you could choose an agent that is scared and timid or an eager and enthusiastic agent to represent you. Which would you prefer? So every objection or every statement could be turned into one of three questions. Either have them explain it, yes or no, or A or B. This is all the practice of asking questions, which is what objection handling is a lot about. It's common sense and it's asking questions. This is how we get them to lead. So this is a great exercise for people to do. So I want to sell your home fast. Okay. Okay. When would you like me to present your first offer? Or how soon would you like me to put your home on the market? So a yes or no question is, do you think an agent with a specific plan of action would get your home sold faster? Yes. Would you like an agent that puts your home on the MLS and waits for business, or an agent that puts your home on the market and aggressively goes and finds business? It's A or B. Okay. So I'm sharing this document with you, but what I would challenge all of you to do is either take these types of examples and read through them or come up with your own. But this is all part of the learning to ask really good questions based on any objection or any statement they give that can help you lead to a close, right? I want to get the most amount of money possible. Okay. How much do you want to list your home for? How much would you like to net? What price would you go below, right? Things like that. Versus a yes or no question. Do you think an agent with a specific plan of action would get you the most money possible? Yes. Okay. Would you rather have a bidding war on your home or not an opportunity to negotiate any offers at all? Right? That's an option, A or B. So there's a bunch of these on this sheet that hopefully you can start to kind of get an idea of learning to ask really powerful questions based on their statements that can help lead them to a decision. Okay. All right. Questions on 3 different forms of asking questions. I know we didn't go over, we kind of sped through this because we're running up against time, because this was kind of the secondary thing I wanted to focus on today. Okay. But I put this in the chat box because this is really important. Okay. When it comes to, again, handling objections or really just sales in general, we have to get better at asking questions. And this really breaks it down. So what I would, again, challenge all of you to do is either read through this and kind of study this process, or do a homework assignment and start thinking about, what kind of objections or statements could a person give me? And then think about, how could I phrase that in 3 different types of questions? Yes or no, A or B, open-ended. Questions on the different forms of asking questions. All right, good. All right, so let's go through this one more time. Who wants to give me one more time, one more shot at it? Repeat, agree, ask 2 questions, close. Who wants it?
Can I try it?
Yes, Alice. Alice, we want you to cut your commission.
Oh, I understand. You want me to cut my commissions, is that right?
Yes.
Well, when would you like to get your home sold? Would you like to get it sold in 30 days?
I would love to get it sold in 30 days.
Okay, would you like to net the most amount of money for your home?
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's all I have.
Okay, great. Sign the contract.
Please sign the contract.
There we go. Good job. Good job. If all else fails when it comes to objection handling and your brain just disappears on you, which happens to me, well, pretty regularly, but that's another issue that I have, just ask them to sign something.
Yeah.
If all else fails and you run out of words, ask them to sign. If I could get your home sold in the next 30 days, does that cause you a problem? No. Sign? What am I signing? Something? I don't know. Anything will work at this point. If I could just, whatever.
Thank you.
What are you gonna do? Worst case scenario, they could just say no, and you're like, oh, wait, clarity. There you go. All right, questions on what we went over today? Okay, is this helpful?
Very helpful. Thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
very
Very
good.
helpful. Yes, it
Good.
was.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So practice this, okay? But now these are just some sample questions. You can come up with your own, right? Again, as long as they make sense. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't take time trying to come up with the perfect answers. Because here's the one thing, okay? Here's the one thing about objection handling. My last little tidbit for today. You could use the same ones on every single client. Okay? So, it's like, okay, well, I have all these questions, but I've already used these ones before. Yes, the new person has no idea. So if you find the 2 that seem to work, just use the same 2 questions on everybody every single time. But If you want to come up with your own, come up with your own, as long as they kind of make sense in this particular format. But work on this, practice it. So, for the rest of this week, when you're doing some role play or anything with someone, say, hey, look, I want to work on this for this week, and let's see how this goes. But this is, again, just a simple, easy strategy when it comes to handling objections. There you go. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Hopefully you got something out of it. And if you didn't, I'll try again tomorrow.